Your brain is lying to you right now. I don't mean that as an insult, I mean it literally. Every single day, your brain relies on hidden shortcuts that quietly distort your judgments, your decisions, and even your memories. And the sneaky part? You never notice because these tricks feel like accurate thinking from the inside. You think you're making rational choices. You're actually following patterns your brain evolved thousands of years ago. And in the modern world, those patterns often lead you astray. I'm going to show you 7 of the most common mind tricks your brain plays on you every single day. Each one has real science behind it, and once you see them, you'll start catching your own brain in the act. Let me show you how your own mind tricks you. Trick number 1, confirmation bias. This is the tendency to search for, notice, and remember information that confirms what you already believe, while ignoring or dismissing anything that contradicts it. Here's a scenario you've probably lived. You start to suspect a coworker is underperforming. From that moment on, you notice every missed deadline. You ignore every successful delivery. By the end of the month, you have a mental case file that feels completely airtight, built entirely from selective attention. Your brain isn't looking for the truth. It's looking for evidence that supports what you already decided. Psychologists first proved this back in 1960 with a simple card test, and since then, thousands of studies have confirmed it. Confirmation bias is widely considered the most pervasive bias there is. It affects your politics, your relationships, even your medical decisions. The scary part, it operates automatically. Even knowing about it doesn't make it go away. So how do you fight it? Deliberately look for the evidence you'd rather not find. When you catch yourself agreeing with something, ask, what would prove I'm wrong? That one question can break the spell. Trick number 2, anchoring. Here's the rule. The first number you hear in any decision disproportionately shapes every number that follows, even if that first number is completely random. Researchers Kahneman and Tversky proved in 1974 that even meaningless anchors shift people's estimates by 20 to 40%. Here's a real-world example. A car dealer shows you a vehicle listed at $45,000. Then they offer it to you at $38,000. You feel like you're getting an incredible deal. But here's the thing, the car's actual market value is $33,000. That number never even entered your head because $45,000 got there first. The anchor wins. It set the frame for everything after it. This is why savvy negotiators always start with an extreme offer. They're not trying to get that number, they're setting your anchor so that whatever comes next feels reasonable. How do you fight it? Recognize the anchor for what it is. When you're evaluating any price, offer, or estimate, ask yourself, would I think this was a good number if I hadn't heard that first one? Ignore the anchor and judge the value on its own. Trick number 3, the sunk cost fallacy. This is the tendency to keep investing in something because of what you've already spent, not because of what you'll get in the future. The word sunk comes from economics. A sunk cost is money or effort you've already spent that you can never get back. Rational thinking says ignore sunk costs because they're gone regardless. But your brain refuses to. Here's the classic example. You've watched 3 seasons of a show you stopped enjoying in season 2, but you keep watching because you've already invested this much time. The time is gone either way, but your brain won't let you walk away from a sunk cost. Researchers Arks and Bloomer proved this in 1985. They found that people who paid full price for a theater subscription attended more shows than people who got a discount, even when neither group enjoyed the performances. The ones who paid more felt they had to use what they'd bought. This bias is everywhere. Finishing a book you hate, staying in a bad job, staying in a failing project. I've put too much in to quit now. How do you fight it? Ask the only question that matters. What's the future value? Not how much have I spent. The past is gone. Only the future matters. Trick number 4, choice overload. Here's the counterintuitive truth. More options actually make it harder to choose and make you less happy with whatever you pick. The most famous proof is the jam study. Researchers set up a tasting table with either 24 flavors of jam or just 6. You'd think more options would mean more sales, right? Wrong. Only 3% of people bought jam when they had 24 choices. But when there were only 6, 30% bought 10 times more. Too many options overwhelm your brain. So instead of choosing, you don't choose at all. Or you pick something and immediately second-guess yourself because you're thinking about the options you didn't pick. You feel this at the ice cream shop with 50 flavors. At the streaming service with 1,000 shows, you scroll for an hour and watch nothing. At the job board with endless listings. How do you fight it? Limit your options on purpose. Cut your choices down to a few genuinely good ones, then decide. And once you decide, don't look back. Freedom isn't infinite options. It's the ability to choose well with fewer. Trick number 5, the spotlight effect. This is the tendency to dramatically overestimate how much other people notice you, your appearance, your actions, your mistakes. Researchers proved this in 2000. They had participants wear an embarrassing shirt into a room full of people. Afterward, they asked each person how many people they thought noticed the shirt. The wearers dramatically overestimated. They thought everyone saw it. In reality, only a fraction of people did. Here's why: you're the center of your own world. You know every mistake you made, every awkward thing you said. So you assume everyone else notices too. But here's the secret: everyone else is the center of their own world. They're too busy worrying about how they look to notice you. You've definitely lived this. You rehearse an apology for a mistake in a meeting all day. You worry about a weird thing you said at a party, and almost no one even noticed. They were too focused on themselves. How do you fight it? Remind yourself, nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Everyone is the hero of their own story. Free yourself from the imaginary spotlight. It was never really on you. Trick number 6, the negativity bias. This is the tendency for negative events, emotions, and feedback to register in your brain much more strongly than positive ones. Researchers have shown this across dozens of studies. Bad is stronger than good. One bad experience outweighs several good ones. Here's why: your brain evolved in a dangerous world where noticing threats was a matter of survival. If you missed a predator, you died. If you missed a nice moment, no big deal. So your brain got wired to overweight the negative. You feel this every day. You get 10 compliments and 1 criticism. Which one keeps you up at night? The criticism. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain is designed to make negative stuff stick. A bad review ruins your whole day. One argument clouds a week of good times. The negative looms large. How do you fight it? You can't turn it off, it's hardwired. But you can deliberately counteract it. Actively savor positive moments. Write them down. When something good happens, force yourself to hold onto it longer than feels natural. You're fighting against your own wiring, but you can win slowly. Trick number 7, the framing effect. This is the tendency for the way information is presented to change your decision, even when the underlying facts are completely identical. Researchers Tversky and Kahneman proved this in 1981. They told people about a medical treatment. Half were told it had a 90% survival rate. The other half were told it had a 10% mortality rate. Same exact treatment. Same exact numbers. But people chose the treatment far more, often when it was framed as 90% survival. Here's a simpler everyday example. A yogurt labeled 95% fat-free feels healthy. The same yogurt labeled 5% fat feels unhealthy. Same product. Same numbers. Completely different reaction. The framing changes the emotion, and the emotion changes the choice. Your brain reacts to how things are presented, not just what they are. How do you fight it? Reframe the question. When you see a number framed one way, ask yourself what it looks like framed the other way. 95% fat-free is 5% fat. Once you see both sides, the trick loses its power. So there are the 7 mind tricks. Here's what they all have in common. Your brain is built for speed, not accuracy. Thousands of years ago, quick shortcuts kept you alive. A threat that felt real was treated as real. A first impression was locked in. The cost of being wrong about a predator was death. The cost of being slow was worse. So your brain evolved to guess fast. And in the modern world, those fast guesses lead you astray in your decisions, your relationships, your money, your happiness. The good news: you can't turn the biases off, but you can learn to catch them. When you feel sure about something, ask what would prove you wrong. That's confirmation bias. When a number feels like a deal, ask if it's actually good on its own. That's anchoring. When you won't quit something, ask about the future, not the past. That's sunk cost. When you're overwhelmed by options, cut them down. That's choice overload. When you're embarrassed, remember nobody's watching. That's the spotlight effect. When a negative thought is loud, balance it with the positive. That's negativity bias. And when something feels a certain way, check the other framing. That's the framing effect. Your brain is lying to you, but now you know the pattern. And knowing the pattern is the first step to taking your mind back. So here's my question. Which one did you fall for today? Was it the sunk cost of finishing something you hate, the spotlight effect of worrying what people think, or confirmation bias convincing you you're always right? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this changed how you see your own mind, subscribe because your brain is full of these tricks and I'm going to keep showing you how to see them. Your brain is lying to you. Now you know the truth. I'll see you in the next one.